You heard that too, right? You're not the president. You need to go away. I'll play the clip a second.
To restore democracy. This may seem like bull.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. So if you haven't heard by now, there was a moment recently that totally shocked the internet. Elon Musk, the tech mogul, brought his son Lex into the Oval Office during a meeting with none other than President Donald Trump. And what Lex said, well, it definitely left everyone talking. Yeah, you heard that right. Lex leaned over to Trump and told him, "You are not the president and you need to go away." Can you believe that? Naturally, the moment went viral and people are absolutely losing it online. Some are finding it hilarious while others are questioning if this was the most unexpected political moment of the year. We have got twists, memes and reactions flooding social media, with fans comparing the little one to a future president or even just the comedic relief of the meeting. So stick around because today we are diving into how people are reacting to Lex's unforgettable moment in the Oval Office. Definitely one you don't want to miss. Let's get into it.
You know, I wasn't even going to post on this, and then I saw some clips that changed my mind, and I'll show you those in a moment. But first, Elon Musk yesterday, along with his son Little X, held a press conference in the Oval Office to discuss what Doge is doing, all while Donald Trump watched on silently from his cuck chair. And in the aftermath, one of Elon's fanboys shared this tweet that Elon reposted. It says, "History repeats itself," and it shows two images. The first image is a pretty iconic image of JFK Jr. playing underneath his dad's desk while he worked in the Oval Office. And the second is Little X seemingly bored out of his mind, crawling around on the floor while Donald Trump pontificates about what he liked watching from said cuck chair. But I can point out at least one glaring difference between these two situations. JFK Jr., as I recall, never had criticisms of his father while the press was there. Little X, on the other hand, has a lot to say, and there was a hot mic that caught some of it. So first is this little gem.
To restore democracy. This may seem like bull.
You heard that too, right? You're not the president. You need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just you watch and tell me if that's what he said.
To restore democracy. This may seem like...
That's what he said, but I'll go one better, because he also said this.
The prices from one year to the next are the same, and their mortgage, all
That one's clear as day. He says, "I want you to shut your fucking mouth up." And there's already people who are like, out of the mouth of babes. But let me just put this out there for your consideration. A child this young doesn't have this profound moment where he like tells off Trump. He just repeats things he's heard. So if he says you're not really the president, chances are someone has said that around him and he's repeating it. When he says, "I want you to shut your fucking mouth up," he's either heard someone say that to someone else, or someone has said that to him, and he's repeating it. Either scenario is pretty disturbing. But perhaps the question we should be asking is the same one that Shay Jordan Smith asked on Twitter, which is, why the fuck is Elon Musk doing press briefings in the White House from the Oval Office? He is not an elected official. Why is he holding court in the Oval Office? Nothing about this is normal or good.
Comment nous y? Est-ce que n'a gardé ça qui passé? Chaque jour bagay yo gen la pi mal. Nou pa wè hier pendant que Donald Trump chita tan koum da dou se li même ki mba konnen. Bay ki bien led. Elon campé en président la pour répondre question journaliste en dans Oval Office lan. Son bay que yon moun mou poko jan mou déjà. Côté que yon moun ki pa yon elected official, pa gen moun ki te voté pour li ki campé en dans Oval Office là, dans Oval Office Oval, whatever, dans White House, dans la Maison Blanche là. Et puis la répondre question journaliste. Comme d'habitude, monsieur avec Little X qui c'est petite Lia. Et bien pendant Elon même après répondre mon yo question, Little X dit Donald Trump comme ça, c'est pas ou même qui président. Et pour Damasco là, c'est pas ou même qui président. Donald Trump a ti jan étonné, mais li kembe tête li droite. Après ça là, li dit Donald Trump comme ça, I want you to shut your fucking mouth. Besoin pour pédant là, pour foutre pédant là. Pédiolo là. Ti ex oui, ti little ex oui, kap pale avec monsieur comme ça veut dire qui ça veut dire? On ti moun comme ça, li pa gen l'esprit assez comme si pour ta réfléchir pour compte li pour le dire genre de bail ça. Gen deux scénarios. C'est ou bien li gade li wè papal qui a dit Donald Trump même bagay ça ou so la répéter ça papa l'a dit Donald Trump ou bien tout papal kon parle avec comme ça et puis lui même la parle à Donald Trump comme ça bot s'il dit comme ça c'est pas ou même qui préside dans des masco là ba quoi son bail papa te ka dil parti côté il dit comme ça foot fermer jolou là peut-être que bon papa te gen doit kon dil des bail comme ça et puis l'a répété mais lui plus semblait comme si l'a répété ça qu'on ouais papa a dit grand moun nan. Bay sa privé loin oui. Gardez n'a pas bay sa privé loin. Parce que vraiment c'est Elon Musk, même d'ap dit Elon Trump. C'est Elon Musk qui président, c'est pas Trump qui président. So ti ex a mette cause de sans que aucun moun pa mande le question. Vous comprenez?
Sir, I would like to just say that I'm very disappointed in you. You have a huge following and you have a platform and you're going to choose to use your time to push false narratives and mudsling and just say all these, disheartening comments about our president and using a child while you're pushing your narratives. I've been saying this. It's ridiculous to use children in any fashion, and that's why the left is being looked at in the light that they're being looked at right now, because there's no honesty, there's no integrity, and there's no truth coming from that side. Please do better with your time, because you're influencing people and giving them false information and fake news, and it's swaying and it's really dividing this country, and that's not the direction we need to go. We need to start uniting together, not dividing. And while you're making content like this, you're essentially just dividing the country, okay? So that being said, Donald Trump won. He's the president. There's no co-presidents. Please quit using Elon Musk's son to push this narrative. Thank you.
This brought me so much joy. So much joy. The look on his face when that kid made that comment is the same look the rest of us have every time he opens his fucking mouth. We have to tolerate it too. Welcome to the rest of America. Or at least 50% of it.
I told you he was rude. I'm going to tag Tizzy below so you can watch the whole video. Once again, I don't blame the child. I blame the parenting.
Is it just me, or has Donald Trump lost a lot of his swag? Like, I feel like previously when we would see him speak in front of large groups of people or like to the press or something, he would be very confident, very cocky, very self-assured, and it seems like lately, every time we hear him, he's almost kind of timid. Like, he seems quieter. He doesn't seem like he's very self-assured. And as somebody who has been in stand-up comedy for a while and is constantly in spaces where there are performers, people that are successful, and also sometimes people that are just very largely insecure, it's kind of easy to see when somebody's demeanor has changed in that respect. Anyways, just thought it was odd.
So by all means, definitely go watch that original video, because there's some choice sound clips from the child. But there's also a lot of very interesting corporate body language going on in that whole press conference thing from Elon Musk. In the corporate world, the one who is standing is the one who is in control of the situation at all times. That's simply how it is done in the corporate world. Now, the fact that we have Trump in his seat, remaining silent, his hands clasped, not in the little pyramid, but just clasped, says so much. And then we have Musk, who is literally looming over Trump. And at times, when Trump speaks, he comes even closer to the seat. That is a silent command to stop talking. We also have the weird hand gesture that Elon was making. While that has many connotations, in the corporate world, that is a hand gesture to assert dominance and to take the helm of the situation at hand. It forces the eye down to his hands and it opens up towards his body so the eyes come back up to him. And the reason why he was doing it up so high was to keep the focus on his face. So all of this combined clearly tells those of us who understand corporate body language that absolutely Trump has become a pawn. He belongs to Musk. Musk is the one calling the shots. Trump is there to take the fall when it all falls apart. And Trump knows his role. That's why he sat there in silence with his hands clasped. He did not say anything to the child. He did not even redirect the child gently from nearly bumping their head on the corner of this massive desk. So that says everything. He is but a pawn. Musk is the one pulling the strings. And we all already know who Musk is working for. We have all seen it already. Anyway, this has been your newest installment of Corporate Politics or Bullshit. When we get closer to the holidays, we will discuss how Christmas parties are mandatory when you work in corporate America.
We all know that Donald Trump only ran for president this time because he was trying to get rid of the 4 felony cases that were pending against him. He was able to get rid of 3 of them, so good job, America, on that one. But I think he might have traded one prison sentence for another. This is what I mean. So Elon Musk and Donald Trump did a press conference in the Oval Office. And Donald Trump was eerily quiet during that press conference. Usually, he's the one who is always talking, always making himself the center of attention. But for some reason, he is really okay with giving Musk the bullhorn. He is okay with giving Musk the attention. And it's really interesting because baby Twitter might have actually revealed their true relationship. Check this out.
A significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. Imagine they're going down the grocery aisle and the prices from one year to the next are the same, and they're.
Did you catch that? Not only did he tell Donald Trump, "You are not the president, I want you to go away," he also said something to the effect of, "Shut the F up. I want you to hush." Now, the baby is 4 years old, and I have a 4-year-old. I know that 4-year-olds repeat literally everything that you say in the way that you say it. So this baby didn't come up with this from whole cloth. He's heard this before. And it wasn't just, I hear people saying that he's heard it in his home and people talking about Trump. No, he's heard it said to Trump. That's the thing that I think a lot of people might be missing about this. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's so adorable." And I mean, okay, kids are cute. Sure. But this one got a little potty mouth, and he got it from his dad, who has been talking to Donald Trump. His father has told Donald Trump, "You are not the president, and I want you to go away." His father has told Donald Trump, "Shut your effing mouth, I want you to hush." So Donald Trump is just taking them licks, right? He is just taking it. You have to ask yourself why. Why is he allowing Elon Musk to outshine him, which is something he's never allowed anybody to do? Why is he allowing Elon Musk to talk to him that way? behind closed doors or not? Why? Why would he be doing that? My guess, it ain't the money. It's not solely the money, because there are other billionaires in his corner. He could give Bezos or Zuckerberg the same type of power if he wanted to. He could trade one billionaire for another. He's not doing that. He's sticking with Musk. Why is that? Speculation time. I think Musk got something on him. I think Musk has something on him and could seriously ruin his life by revealing what he has if he don't play ball. We just speculating. But that's what I think is going on here. Watch this space, because this is interesting. And I find solace in knowing that Donald Trump is not having a good time right now.
Americans, how does it feel to actually see your president humiliated like that in front of all of you? I will actually give you this thing in 2 steps. Excuse me. Number 1, Elon Musk is not dressed for the occasion. Everyone else in the room is well dressed, and they take themselves seriously and they take their work very seriously. And what did Elon Musk do? He pulled the rich boy dress code. He's just dressed. Yeah. It's not that Elon Musk doesn't have shirts. Elon Musk can dress formally very well if he chooses to respect and honor the event. But he just didn't. That's the first part. And the second part, the way Elon Musk's child spoke to Donald Trump. South Africans, for those of you who witnessed apartheid, I'm sure you have seen that look before. You have seen that look before, where if a white child does something to you, you cannot retaliate. If a white person's dog chases you, you cannot hit it back. Look, Donald Trump is a guy who has been in the public eye for a very long time. And when he's being disrespected, his facial features, we know Donald Trump's facial features when he's being disrespected, or when he's in a debate, or when that kind of disrespect and that kind of frustration hits Donald, we can see it. So this kid says to Donald Trump, you are not, I can't remember the words exact word to word, but it's something along the lines of, you are not the real president, you must go away, or something like that. So if Donald is not your president, who's your president? You know, if everything that Americans stand for is actually true, Homeland Security was supposed to have intervened. They were supposed to be having Elon Musk on interrogation. They were supposed to be having Trump on serious interrogation. If you're saying this is not because that boy is too small to be saying those kind of things from the top of his head. So he has had that from somewhere before. And the reaction, you know, kids, you know, you can tell when a kid is repeating something that he has just had or something that he has had before. And the way I look at it, I think that altercation of you are not the real president, I think it's something that they had a few minutes before. Because, you know, with kids, vibes changes with a kid. You can smack a kid now, and then if you meet the same kid an hour later, if the vibe is different, the kid might not even take it to heart that you actually smoked them like a few moments ago. But this kid goes out of his way to be bickering and messing around with Trump. So that means that altercation in the kid's mind was still hot. It's something that had just occurred, where Trump was reminded that he's not the real president. And I would have just said, okay, it's just a mistake. But that face that Trump made is the same face we normally see on Trump when he's being humiliated or when he's on debate. So which means it was real. What barks like a dog, come on man, let's be real, that's definitely a dog. So Americans, what do you have sitting on your presidential seat? Do you remember Trump's celebration? Elon Musk's celebration. Do you remember that? We were watching from down here, from South Africa, and when he did it, we were like, oh, he just came out. They keep on showing you who they are every day in your eyes, and you still can't see. What else do you need to be shown the reality of what is happening? Americans, this is so embarrassing. This is humiliating. You know, in South Africa, we have a president, right? And we've nicknamed him Cupcake. And when I see what happens to your president, seriously, you make me respect my Cupcake. Cupcake is better than what you guys are dealing with. Ooh, Americans, I pity you. And I'm not creating a bunch of theories here. I'm just raising things we've seen. Between Trump and Musk, who knows South Africa better? Or who has a South African ancestry? Musk, right? And who has a problem with South African laws because he wanted to introduce what to South Africa and the government did not agree? I will not continue. So if Trump is not the president and hypothetically we're saying Musk is your president, then it would make sense why Trump just all of a sudden from nowhere came up with things that he says they are happening in South Africa that we have never heard of and we live here on a daily basis. The white people he's talking about that we are oppressing and that we are killing are actually dancing amapiano. Oh, I think I just saw a couple of blocks from here. They were dancing to amapiano. They were doing their own things. And I don't know where he got those kind of conspiracy theories from, but there's probably one person that could have ordered him to actually sign such a very stupid executive order. How many of you have noticed that some of the things that Trump he said he will do on day one, they are not happening? So Americans, I think it's the beginning of the end for you. I don't know what's going to follow after this. Could it be a civil war? Could it be some of you will get tired of a South African tampering with your presidency? Well, let's see what happens. But like Musk celebrated before, it is what it is. And whenever they show you who they are, believe them.
So let's talk about the moment that everyone is talking about right now. Elon Musk bringing his son Lex into the Oval Office during meeting with Donald Trump. Honestly, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a regular typical meeting between two major figures, Musk and Trump discussing something important, but no, this meeting took a wide turn and it's one for the books. For those who missed it, here's what went down. While Elon Musk and President Trump were discussing policy matters in the Oval Office, Lex, in his adorable little 4-year-old way, leaned over to Trump and out of nowhere said, "You are not the president and you need to go away." Like, can you imagine being in that room? Musk, the president, the cameras, and then this little child just delivers that line as if he were running for office himself. Now you might think, okay, he's just a kid being a kid, no big deal, but the reaction online is insane. People are laughing, memeing, and debating what this actually means. On one hand, it's a light-hearted moment just a kid doing what kids do best, saying the most random and honest thing without any filter. On the other hand, though, is kind of like the perfect metaphor for how people see Trump. Someone who just doesn't quite seem like he should be in the position he's in anymore. There is this wave of people online calling it brutally honest and suggesting that Lies has a future in politics. And you know what? Maybe he does. At the very least, he has a strong instinct for making a memorable impact. But seriously, the reaction to this is next level. Social media exploded with minutes of the clip going viral. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all these platforms are flooded with posts about it. Some people are using this as a moment to poke fun at Trump, calling the remark a reminder from the youth that Trump isn't actually the president anymore. Others are calling Lies a mini revolutionary, already challenging authorities with his innocence and audacity. And let's not forget the memes. I have seen everything from Lies getting photoshopped into presidential campaign posters to him being turned into a meme that says, "When your kid tells the truth, no one wants to hear." It's hilarious and honestly kind of refreshing. There are also people making it into a whole philosophical debate. Some are saying that this moment is a reflection of how people see Trump's presidency as something that is outdated and out of touch. It's like Lies was speaking for a lot of people who feel the same way, whether they are from the younger generation or not. This kid has become a symbol of honesty, and it's like he called out the elephant in the room. It also highlights something deeper about how younger generations, especially Jay-Z, are more vocal and outspoken about their feelings toward political figures. We have seen this time and time again, especially with younger activists and influencers who are actively challenging the old guard and its way of thinking. But let's not get too caught up in the political angle here. There is also the simple fact that this is just a moment of pure, unfiltered childhood. Kids say things like this all the time. They are unafraid to speak their minds, unafraid to speak truth to power, or simply say whatever pops into their head. It's funny, it's genuine, and it's real. Lies didn't hold back. He wasn't concerned with being polite or following any social norms, which is exactly what makes this moment so entertaining and memorable. It's that same rawness that has captured the attention of millions. Now, what is even crazier is that this is the second time this week that Lies is getting attention for something unexpected. Earlier, he was spotted mimicking his father's gesture during the press conference, and that moment was also adorable but shows just how much the little guy is paying attention to what is going on around him. You have got to wonder what is going on in this kid's head. He's already observing everything he sees, including the dynamics of powerful people in high position. It's like he's taking notes, and honestly, that just adds to the hormone of his whole situation. But let's be real, people are going wild not just because 4-year-old called out a former president, but because it's like a reflection of how divided the country still feels. To some, this moment is a reminder of how disconnected certain political figures are from the rest of the country, particularly from the younger generation. People are tired of the same old political games, and here's this little child calling it out in the most innocent way possible. Maybe it's a sign that the younger generation is going to have a much bigger voice in the future, even ways wouldn't expect, like 4-year-old disrupting a major political meeting. Of course, you can't ignore the fact that Grimm's Lee's ex-mother wasn't exactly thrilled about the exposure. She's been known to be protective of her son's privacy, and honestly, I get where she's coming from. It's one thing for a kid to have fun, spontaneously moment, but it's another when it gets broadcasted to millions of people. I can only imagine how conflicted Musk'S and Grimm's must feel about the whole thing, wanting to encourage their child's free spirit but also protecting them from the intense spotlights. But here's the thing, as much as people are laughing, the reactions also show just how much people are fed up with the political cycles. There is this undialing message here. Whether it's intentional or not, Lies didn't just say something funny. He adamantly reminded everyone that politics isn't just about the powerful figures at the top. It's also the voices of everyday people, especially those who haven't been given the chance to be heard yet. The way he said it, as if it was the most natural thing in the world, brings a new level of hormone to how we think about politics. Maybe the truth is something simpler than we make it out to be. To wrap this up, this moment has been so much more than just a kid's comment in an important political meeting. It's because a cultural flashpoint, sparking discussions on the role of the younger generations in politics, on the state of American leadership, and on the way kids' unfiltered honesty can sometimes say more than all the speeches and political spin in the world. It's funny, bizarre, and yet strangely profound moment that will be remembered for a long time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this just a funny moment, or does it say something deeper about our political landscape? Is Lee X a future politician or just a kid who says what everyone else is thinking? Either way, this is one for the history books.